Rehabbing Part 6. Here we're going to talk about financing. Another very, very important part about rehabbing is making sure you have the money to do the deals and do them properly. Now, when people first start, they think, oh my God, this is the most difficult part. I don't have any money, all that type of stuff. Trust me, this is actually not that hard. Once you figure it out and get used to it, it's relatively easy. I've had banks I've worked with for 10 years now. I basically send them an email once I get a new property, and they just do the deal for me. They're so used to working with me. I'm so used to working with them. I know the process, and it's actually relatively easy to get deals financed. Now, let me talk about the three types of financing, and then you can choose how you want to start and where you want to go with your financing. The first type is cash. When I did my first two deals, I did them in all cash. I paid cash for the property, and I did all the rehabs in cash. Now, I actually don't recommend that, and back then I didn't even know any better, so that's why I did it that way. But if that's the way you want to start and you have the capital to get going, please go ahead and do it in cash. It's definitely a way you can do deals. You don't have to worry about the banks. There's no one looking over your shoulder, that type of stuff. But again, make sure that you're still following the proper process in terms of getting your proper insurance, getting your proper licensing for the contractors as needed, because when you have a bank involved, they'll look over your shoulder, they'll make sure you do those things or they won't give you your money. But when you're doing it yourself, you can get away with a lot of that, but you can also get into a lot of trouble. So your first way is cash. If you want to go that way, that's a great way to start. I don't recommend even starting that way or long term, but it is a viable way to finance your deals. The second way is what we call hard money loans. For people who don't even know what that is, those are lenders who specifically work with rehabbers, and they'll charge you a higher interest rate and they'll charge you higher points to do the deal. For example, my local banks right now are financing in the 4 to 5% range with 1 point. Hard money lenders tend to be in the 12 to 14% range with up to 4 points, even higher sometimes. So again, hard money lenders are in the business to make money. That's what they do as well. Now, you can use hard money lenders. Again, I don't really recommend them because the fees are so high, and you're going to essentially be splitting the profits with the hard money lender. You're going to make as much money as they make. But again, if you have no options, if you don't have the cash and the regular banks, the local banks won't finance you yet, hard money lenders are a great option. But again, let me be clear on the two main reasons why I don't really like hard money lenders. I've used them a few times in my career, but I really don't use them at all anymore. And the main reasons are, number one, again, because the cost is so high. Your cost of capital is high. When you add up the points, the fees, the interest rate they charge over the life of your loan, you're going to be spending a lot of money to get this money. And I feel there's a lot better and cheaper ways to get the money. You're doing the hard work of finding the deals, getting them rehab, getting them sold. So you want to take the lion's share of the profit, not give it away to your lender who's giving you the privilege of using their money for a short amount of time. The third and best way are your local community banks. Get to know them. These are not your Bank of America, TD Bank, PNC, not those banks, your local banks, and every community has those. That's who you want to reach out to. They love doing these deals, and sometimes they'll be seeking you out after you get a reputation in your local community. These banks understand acquisition and construction financing. This is a business line they typically do. They're going to give you very low rates, and their points are a point at most, sometimes even less than that. So this is your ideal way to finance rehabs. Now, when you're first starting, they may be a little bit leery. If you come to the game with great financials, they'll probably do your very first deal with you. But if you don't, you may have to go with other sources until you develop a track record and you can show them, look, I've done these 5 rehabs, these 3 rehabs, they're all been successful. Here's my numbers, here's my profit and loss statement. I want to do the next one with you, and most likely they're going to say, yes, we want to work with you. Now, these lenders aren't really looking at you as a person in terms of your credit score, your employment history, all the traditional things that the residential lenders look at. They're looking at the deal. Does the deal make sense? The numbers you presented them. Are you going to be able to get this deal done, make money, and also pay them back? That's what they're looking at. So it's another nice advantage because they're typically not going to block you from doing more and more deals. They're going to limit it, of course, to a certain amount, but they're not going to say, oh, we only do X amount and we're going to stop at that point. So this is the kind of banks you want to develop relationships with. Now, even if you're not quite ready to jump in with a community bank, start developing those relationships now, because the longer they know you, the longer they've seen you in business, the more they're going to trust you, and they're going to be able to go to their loan committee and say, look, we know this guy, he's good, he'll get the deal done, we should give this guy a loan. You want to develop that track record in your own business, but you also want to develop that history and getting to know these people, because the longer someone has known you and they're seeing you perform and be in this business, the more comfort it gives them, because there's plenty of people who come into this business, they think they can do it, they do a couple deals, they lose money, and they're gone. And those are the kind of people we're all leery of and we don't want to work with. We want to work with people who've been in this business for a while and are doing this as a full-time profession, and they're serious about it and they run this as a business. Those are the kind of people that banks want to work with. So those are my 3 top ways to finance deals. Again, cash, hard money lenders, and local community banks. So go out there, develop those relationships now, even if you don't plan on using them right away. It's going to be a great thing for you and a great way to build your business. As always, subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the important videos in this 10-part series on rehabbing.